So during the entire tenure that Biden was in office, Trump and MAGA would call him names like Sleepy Joe, Slow Joe, talking about his cognitive abilities that are associated with elder decline. And would say that our country is in danger because Biden doesn't know where he is. He's Sleepy Joe, all of this stuff. They clowned President Biden all throughout his entire tenure. Anytime he had a slip up, anytime he, misspoke or anything like that, they would say, oh, he's has dementia, he's Sleepy Joe, all of this stuff, and who's really running the country? Well, Trump himself seems to be on a decline. Reporting from the Daily Beast highlights how he went on a weird Cold War rant on True Social. So there is no Russian city called Leningrad anymore, but apparently no one bothered to tell Donald Trump. The 79-year-old president had yet another senior citizen moment as part of a True Social diatribe Tuesday morning, triggering a wave of concern about his cognitive faculties. If I got Moscow and Leningrad free as part of a deal with Russia, the fake news would say I made a bad deal, Trump wrote in a post in which he complained about the media's coverage of his upcoming summit with Vladimir Putin. Critics were quick to point out that Leningrad's name was changed in 1991 when the city's residents voted via referendum to bring back its historic name of St. Petersburg. Many saw the moment as a sign that Trump is possibly suffering from dementia. St. Petersburg was named that in 1991. And he's saying Moscow and Leningrad. Ooh. Others remembered that around the time of Leningrad's renaming, Trump was desperate to extend his real estate empire to Russia. In 1980, the only reason why I laugh when I say Russia is because every time he says Russia, he says it Russia. Like during the press conference he had the other day, he's like, I'm about to go to Russia. I don't know. So every time I hear or think of the word Russia now, I always think Russia. Others remember that around the time of Leningrad's renaming, Trump was desperate to extend his real estate empire to Russia. In a 1987 attempt, Trump and his wife Ivana traveled to Moscow to tour construction sites for a potential Trump hotel in the Russian capital. They also spent time in Leningrad 4 years before its renaming. So this is them, circa 1987. His head is still there, circa 2025. Trump mentioned Leningrad is wild, considering the city hasn't existed since 1991, one user wrote. He's long gone at this point. Ooh. Those plans fizzled, but Trump continued to court developers in Russia and even allowed the Miss Universe pageant to be held in Moscow in 2013. Yeah. The True Social gaffe comes 2 days before Trump is set to meet with Putin in Alaska to discuss Ukraine's future at a summit where he will certainly need to muster all of his cognitive strength. On Wednesday, author Michael Wolff counted on the Daily Beast's Inside Trump's Head podcast that after Trump met one-on-one with Vladimir Putin in 2018, he emerged looking like a beaten dog. Trump has seemed to lose the plot several times in the last few weeks. In July, he criticized Joe Biden for appointing Jerome Powell as chair of the Federal Reserve, forgetting that he picked Powell himself in 2017. The day before that incident, he confabulated a story about how his uncle and an MIT professor had taught Ted Krasinski before he was the Unabomber. Krasinski never attended MIT. On Monday, he left Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt to clean up his mess after claiming twice that he would be traveling to Russia on Friday instead of Alaska, where the summit with Putin is actually being held. Oh my goodness.
The president said at the podium
Charlie.
The president said at the podium yesterday twice that he was planning to go to Russia. Was that a verbal slip-up, or does he actually plan to go to Russia?
Perhaps there are plans in the future to travel to Russia. And on Friday, the president will be meeting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, as you know. Phil.
A White House spokesperson wrote the following in a statement. In part, Joe Biden started this brutal war and President Trump is going to stop the killing. The war started when Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine in 2022. The invasion came days after President Biden warned that Putin was preparing to attack and threatened to impose economic sanctions. Perhaps there are plans in the future to travel to Russia, Leavitt said on Monday after Trump's last Russia gaffe, where those travel plans will include a stop in historic Leningrad is currently unclear. This is a wild thing. Like during Biden's entire term, they said that he was slow. He didn't know what he was doing. They were saying that he was they were running an auto pen scam in the White House and all of that stuff. But here we are, 7 months into this presidency, and he's already having these like constant slip ups. We still have like 3.5 years left of this. I don't know, but I mean, he's what, 79? We will see. We will see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I heard that like when people start declining, they kind of go downhill fast, or it depends. I don't know. But the fact that he's mentioning cities from like the 90s, names from the 90s, he's forgetting the people that he himself had appointed, like Jerome Powell. You know, he just said in that press conference twice that he's going to be traveling to Russia when he's actually going to Alaska to meet the Russian president. When he's actually meeting the Russian president in Alaska, a united state. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think he's slowly declining. He might go down faster downhill than this, but I don't know. We'll see. Like and subscribe before you take off. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.